Sign me up for 7 of those. Known Grizzlies apologist, good time Timmy Doyle in the mix. TD, with some firsthand experience on this series, he was in the building for that Game 1 thriller. I think we got some family photos to prove it here as we take a look at both TD and Chicago Joe, the best in the business, enjoying the quality time in Memphis. Chicago Joe, about as sharp as they come, offered up a winner in Game 1. Dubs, again, similar line here, giving 2 in Game 2. Total adjusted up a full 7 points, TD, to 227.5. Walk us through that experience and your pick here for Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable experience. I mean, it was kind of a spur of the moment. It was the only game that was going to fall on a weekend. And my son goes to bed about 8:30 Central Time, so I knew a weekday game in Memphis was not going to be a fit as they kind of pushed out a little bit later in the TV schedule. So I said, all right, now or never. So we headed down to Memphis, and it felt good to take the points. You know, Joe was trying to convince me, let's go moneyline Grizzlies because we got Grizzlies for the series. We got Grizzlies. I said, Joe, if they're going to give us points, we're going to take those, okay? So who would have thought Klay Thompson bangs a 3 to make it 1, turnover on the other end, and Klay Thompson went to the line, missed not one.
Big time.
He missed 2 free throws late, and you could see the emotion from him. Cool thing about being at the game live, we got there 90 minutes before the tip. Steph Curry put on a 25-minute shooting routine, Joe, that I don't care what profession you have to admire someone that gets it that locked in. Klay was about 15 minutes. But both those guys were in such an amazing rhythm. But the place is going to be awesome there. That was probably one of the best atmospheres I ever saw for a professional event down in Memphis. I don't think Jordan Poole is going to be able to deliver at the rate he did. So the Grizzlies whooped that trick, I think, here in game number 2.
TD, falling in line with some of the local fare there with the whoop that trick in the building. It was rocking in Game 1. I'm sure that same intensity will be present here in Game 2. But Golden State, just a nightmare to stop with the emergence of, as you mentioned, Jordan Poole, making life much easier on Steph offensively as well, as that ask is much lower. Curry's point prop here, though, 26.5. It's been over that number in 4 of the 6 postseason games he's appeared in this year, but just 24 in Game 1. How are you approaching tonight's number?
I thought the defense in the Grizzlies was awful. I love John Morant, and he's an amazing talent. I thought his attention to defense on that end of the floor was pitiful. I really do. And I think the guy's an amazing talent. I bet him to win the MVP. From an offensive standpoint, the guy's outstanding, but he fell asleep. And, it just had a lot of similarities to what I saw in Game 1 when the Grizzlies got embarrassed by the T-Wolves. They bounced back. They won 4-5. Attention to detail was better. Hey, I don't love betting Steph Curry unders. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just like, oh, boy, here we go, because he's going to take a lot of shots. And he knows, like everybody else in the Warriors, you win this game, the series is really kind of wrapped up because, you've won the 2 games on the road. But I think the attention to detail is going to be better. I'm not saying they're going to hold them to 12 points, but take under and hold on for dear life.
TD, game to game, we're looking for the overreaction, the line movement that maybe was too big, too small in reaction to Game 1. Jordan Poole, the market has not adjusted a whole lot following that 31-point performance in Game 1. Grizzlies players were candid on the day off in their game plan. Take away Poole, try and slow Curry, but that means chasing him off. Screens all night. 20 cashes a ticket here on Tuesday, TD. What can we expect out of Poole in Game 2?
It sounds like your voice was trying to push me towards over, Joe.
100% was.
Yeah, I mean, let me sell you on an under,
okay.
And here's why. Okay, Draymond Green gets canned in the second quarter, so he's out of the game. And I'm not saying Draymond Green takes 12 shots, but man, he touches the ball a lot. So if Draymond Green's going to play in game number 2, as we expect for 35-plus minutes, Jordan Poole's touches are going to go down. Now, in game number 1, he took the second most shots on the team, tied with Steph Curry with 20 shots. But with Draymond Green on the floor, I'm not saying he's not going to take 10 or 12 shots, but he ain't taking 20. So the guy's been amazing. First couple of games of the previous series, guy's been awesome. Playing with Steph Curry, I think has only grown his confidence because he sees what it takes night in and night out. But I think the Grizzlies are going to stretch this series to 7. And if they are, their defense has to be better. So I think they slow down Curry. They slow down Poole. I'm going to go under on both these guys.
That's tough.
Sorry.
I find myself on the other side of that one, TD. I hear what you're saying about Draymond. It is less shots, but maybe more quality shots for Poole. So what do you say? Little side action here. We put a bottle of vino, me and you. I'm playing it over. You're playing it under. You have my address, my friend, all right? Let's get to your guy, Ja, here, who went for 34 in Game 1. 36 would have been a game winner. Prop in game 2 coming in at 26.5. T. Morant wants more out of his son. Sounds like you do as well. TD, what do you like here out of your namesake in game 2?
Yeah, I just thought like he was going in and out of periods of concentration. I know that's hard to believe in a playoff game, but I don't think he was locked in from a defensive standpoint. And from an offensive standpoint, it just looked like he flipped the switch. You see the shot attempts, 31. He knows it's a must-win game. I think that he's going to do everything he can. The one nice thing about the Warriors, they don't have that rim protection. You know, who's going to be at the rim meeting this guy? He led the NBA this year in points in the paint. If I could just give him a little advice, let's just stop dancing. You scoring Kuminga at the half there, and then you mouth it so everybody could read it. He can't guard me. You know, you can learn something from old guys. Like, Kuminga can't guard you. But, like, you don't fuel fires like that. You know what I mean? You don't give a Draymond Green, a Steph Curry, a Klay Thompson. You ever see those guys? Well, I guess you see Draymond. But you don't see the leading scorers kind of running their mouth like that. It's just like, you know, put your head down, go out there, guard your man. I was just floored in person how many times he lost his man, either cutting back door. Dylan Brooks was hot at him a few times. He took a really hard fall in that game. Not sure if it affected him on both ends of the floor because he's asked to do a lot. But I think he's going to shoot the ball like 27 to 28 times, so I'm going to go over on his prop.
All right, it's an overplay there on Ja. It was dynamic duos in game 1 in the building, father-son duos, T and Ja Morant, Dell and Steph Curry, a good time Timmy Doyle and Joe Doyle in the building. So let's stack up a few more of our favorites here. Same game parlay in game 2. How's it go, Tim?
I'm going to just go Ja, point prop over, and I'm going to go Grizzlies win this game. So you're going to get a little value there. It's going to juice up your parlay a little bit, you know, with them being plus money. And, you know, if they're going to win, this is going to be a correlated parlay. So Ja is going to go off. The Grizzlies are going to win. They're going to need other guys to, you know, contribute at a high level. Jaren Jackson Jr., the shot is ugly. Joe, the rotation on his ball, he gets like one revolution out of it. Like, it doesn't spin a lot, but, man, it goes in. I think he's going to be better. Let's not forget, these are the Warriors. This is a very young group. Like, they held their own in game number 2. I think in game number 1. I think in game number 2, they're going to breathe a little bit more, feel that crowd, feel that electricity, get the win, and Ja's going to have a big night.
All right, let's take a look at that parlay play on the back end. But time now to put it all on the line. Tim Doyle, your favorite play on hardwood anywhere on Tuesday night is what?
It's the Grizzlies, my friends. Whoop that trick. They're going to be better defensively. I think from an offensive standpoint, they're going to be a little bit more under control. You could see an emotion from a squad where you got Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant taking on the mighty Warriors. You got Dylan Brooks. You got guys that have never been in an environment like this where the crowd, they got home court advantage. And they didn't disappoint, but I just thought they were missing like a little bit of edge from a defensive standpoint. I love the fact that they lost game number 1 against the T-Wolves. Similar story in losing game number 1 against the Warriors. A massive bounce back. They won game number 2 by 30. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be an easy Grizzlies win. So Grizzlies by 12 tonight. That's my all on the line. Hammer pick, Mr. Musso.
All right, it is money line for the money man, Tim Doyle, here on HQ. Thank you, TD. Always entertaining when we got Timmy in the building. And here's a look at that parlay play one more time for this game 2 tip between the Dubs and the Grizz. It's Ja over his 26.5. Volume play there, as we saw plenty of shots in game 1. Probably a similar script here in game 2. Grizzlies on the money line, nearly 3-1 to your dollar.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.